Alright lads, this is T-Var. T-Var the Belligerent. Well, he says bellicose, so I prefer calling him the Belligerent. This is my... I really don't like saying Golgari that much. I prefer saying the colors black-green. This is my black-green elves deck. So it's basically Elf Rush. T-Var. So legendary Elf Warrior, 5/4, 2 colorless, one black, one green. Yeah. Whenever one or more elves you control attack, they gain death touch until end of turn. Give your opponent something to think about when you come at them. Each creature control has, whenever a mana ability this motherfucker resolves, put a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of mana this motherfucker produced. Only once per turn. So he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. I like him a lot, and I got a new card for him. I got the Spiritual Rangers. It's not foil. Foil is 20 euros now. For only an EX condition one. I have a foil one sitting in Voya, and playing T-Var, I noticed I really need another mana elf. Really need it. Just, I have a lot of them. I don't have the druid that costs 3 green, taps for 1 mana, 1 green for every creature control. I don't have him. I don't have Gyre Sage. There's a couple I don't have, but I wanted ones that, okay, 3 green, triple green, not hard in this deck, but that's not coming down to like turn 2. So turn 1, if I get, say, Elvish Mystic, Finhorn Elves, turn 1 play one of them, turn 2 I've got 3 green, provided I get a land that produces green, I don't draw one of my swamps. Then I could play that druid. I forget what the hell it's called. It's probably in the considering. Let me just take a look. It is... oh, it's not my considering. So I wasn't really thinking about it because at the time it was kind of a costly card. And I wanted something a bit faster, so I got this guy. So 1 green, 1/1. Tap 2 and tap elves you control. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. You can also play him face down as a morph creature, but why the hell would you do that? So he needs another elf, and then it becomes kind of diminishing returns where you tap the 2 elves to get 1 mana. So you've got 4 elves, you can get 2, and so on. But he does come down early, and he can give me mana of any color, and he works with T-Var. So if I tap him and another elf, he'll get a +1/+1 counter because he's the one producing the mana. So the trick, as always, is what do I take out for him? I think I know what I'm going to take out, but as always, let's run through the exercise. For this exercise, we're not going to be looking at lands because he's only running 36 lands because of all the mana elves, so it has to be something else. The deck has a problem with flyers, so anything that deals with flying either gives the elves reach or gives them flying. I'm not really willing to take out, so Chroma's Memorial is going to stay. Null Mage Shepherd, I just tap 4 untap creatures and naturalize an artifact or enchantment. So she stays. There's a land. Spider Silk Armor. So if you're playing any kind of token strategy and you're having a problem dealing with flying creatures, you get one of these. They're cheap. Let's see, how much is this foil one? This foil one is only 8 euro. So it's not that much. A flat one, non-foil, is only 1 euro. I mean, the art is beautiful. Scott Hampton. I really like looking at it. I like the use of color here, how the white just stands out against the green. And so 2 and a green, creatures you control get +0/+1 and reach, essentially. Back then they didn't have the keyword reach, so it can block as though they had flying. So it gives you creatures reach, which, like I said, the deck has a problem with flyers. And so that's why that's there. Priest of Titania, she generates mana, she's not going anywhere. Asceticism. 3 green. Creatures you control can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control, and you can regenerate a target creature. This isn't the card I was thinking of cutting, but maybe I will. So the deck needs to go pretty fast. All the creatures are low mana cost, low power and toughness natively, so I need to play a critical mass of them and then start beefing them up somehow, i.e. with T-VAR. I've done this kind of deck before, and it didn't really work. T-VAR, sometimes he works fantastically, sometimes he just comes out the gate swinging. Sometimes it's kind of mid. I don't get enough mana elves, I don't kick off early enough, I don't start making them bigger, and so on. So let's set asceticism aside. So we'll put the Rangers here because that's going in for sure. And we'll put the cards I'm thinking of taking out here. No Rod. The only artifacts that I have in this deck are static effects. They do nothing. I don't have a Soul Ring in here. I don't have any Mana Rocks in here. I don't have Engineered Explosives, any of that stuff. All the artifacts in here are static, like Vanquisher's Banner, Coat of Arms, Banner of Kinship, Chroma's Memorial. So I don't have any activation costs. And this shuts off Mana Rocks. The other lads, they play a lot of Mana Rocks. So that kills them. It stops equipment from being passed around. It does a lot. So it's pretty good in this deck. So that's staying. Lucilana Bowmaster. 2 and a green for a 2/2 reach up elf. Whenever I play an elf spell, the Bowmaster can deal 2 points of damage to it. So here's the thing. Attacking elves gain Death Touch. So I attack. If the Bowmaster attacks until end of turn, he has Death Touch. So during my second main phase, after my attack, if I start casting elves, I can deal 2 damage to a flying creature, and he still has Death Touch, so he'll kill it. So he's pretty good. Mana Elf, she definitely stays. Coat of Arms, sometimes bites me in the ass. Sometimes, like Cube with the squirrels, it's a race. Do I get more elves, or does he get more squirrels? If he's got more squirrels, I sure as fuck don't want to play Coat of Arms and make them all big when they're bigger than my guys. But still, it does pump up the elves and make them into a lethal threat. Skyshard Ranger. Maybe I should take her out. 1 green, 1/1 elf, tap, put a land from your hand into play. Only anytime you can play a sorcery. So, the reason she's in here is the deck does have what's it called? Beast Whisper. Whenever you cast a creature, draw a card. It has the what the fuck is it? Elvish something. Leafcrown Visionary. Whenever you cast an elf, you can spend 1 green, tax yourself, and draw a card. So the deck has some ways of drawing cards, and some of them are going to be lands, and she helps me put those lands into play. Let's put her into the considering. What else? Go find a forest. Yeah, keep that. Chain of Acid. This is just funny. I'm keeping this in here just because of the humor, the joy I get out of it. My opponents don't. Last time I cast it, I targeted one of Genie's things, and he just stopped. He didn't send it anymore. I'm like, are you sure? You sure you don't want to send it? Come on. I mean, you're no fun. 300 green sorcery. Destroy target non-creature permanent, which can be a land. That permanent's controller may copy the spell and choose new targets for the copy. And then the controller of that may copy the spell. And so it does one of 2 things. Either it blows up a couple things, or somebody just stops it. It blows up 1 thing. It will either hit a couple of things until somebody loses a non-creature permanent and they don't feel like playing in the game, you know, the Chain of Acid game, or all of a sudden the board has no lands, no artifacts, no enchantments, no planeswalkers. All you have are creatures. That's the other extreme. It's always funny when it's the other extreme. So I'm keeping that here. Land. Elvish Harbinger comes into play. Go find an elf. Show it to everyone. Shuffle. Put it on top. And she gives me mana. So she stays. Land. Heritage. Let me get a drink of water. My mouth is kind of dry. There we go. Okay, Heritage Druid. 1 green, 1/1 elf. Tap 3 untapped elves you control. Add 3 green to random pool. So if she does this, when T-Var's in play, she gets 3 1/1 counters. She's good. Copperhorn Scout. Whenever she attacks, untap each other creature you control. So, T-Var. So, make the mana. The creatures get +1/+1 encounters during my first main, and then I can declare them as attackers, and they'll gain Death Touch if he's in play, and they'll have all the counters from the mana they generated. So she can be really good. T-Var Kel, the Planeswalker T-Var. My elves can produce black. I could put a +1/+1 counter on target elf, untap it, it gains Death Touch until end of turn. I can create a 1/1 elf warrior token, or Neg 6. This is the one I'm always chasing. You get an emblem with whenever you cast an elf spell, it gains haste until end of turn, and you draw 2 cards. I like that. I like drawing cards. This is what I'm thinking taking out. So this is really in here to find the Null Rod. But this is what's pushing this deck kind of to bracket 3. There's 3 tutors. It's the only game changer. The other tutors are Elvish Harbinger and Green Sun Zenith. I have this in here to really find the Null Rod. Maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I don't want the consistency. Maybe I want the thrill of desperately needing the Null Rod and having to draw into it. That's always fun. So I'll put this up here. So, Forest. Yeah, you killed all my creatures. It's my turn. Alright, everybody look in your graveyard, name a creature type. All those creatures come back into play. I'm going to name Elf. Yep. By you. This is the monster in the woods. If the elves don't have a monster in the woods to be afraid of, they're just going to sit around smoking dope all day. You know, they're going to start singing songs where they're high as fuck. I was going to answer Latimre's call, but then I got high. I was going to take my turn on the palisade wall, but then I got high. Now Grevin's kicking my ass, and I know why. Why, man? Why? 'Cause I got high. 'Cause I got high. 'Cause I got high. So you can't have the elves doing that. You know, a bunch of fruitcakes growing weed in the woods. You need something to kind of keep them focused. So what does this do? It's kind of, I don't have the best light right now, so 3 green, 6/6 trample. 5 mana for a 6/6 trample, that's not too bad. It's not great these days. Fucking power creep. But when you can, so my green spells, instead of paying green, I can pay 2 life. It turns all the green mana symbols into Phyrexian mana symbols for as long as he's in play for all the cards that I have in my hand, or you know, command zone. And when to recast a green permanent spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. Make everybody bigger. Korean Ranger, green 1/1, bounce a forest back to its owner's hand, untap target creature. Well, you have to control the forest. I mean, if you could just make somebody pick up their own forest, that'd be kind of funny. Untap target creature only once per turn, so she helps untap my mana elves and other elves. I actually had her in play, and she worked, and it was funny, and I liked it. And she's only a junk Fallen Empires card, but it was hilarious. 1 green for a 1/1 elf. Spend 1 green, tap. Target creature does not untap during its controller's next untap step. So Cube, we were playing 1v1, and he had a flyer, and I couldn't deal with it. And I got her, and she just kept it locked down. So she's a good addition to the deck. I'm really happy I remembered her. Hurricane! Green, X. All flying creatures and all players take X damage. Clean out the air. Green Sun Zenith. X and green. Go find a green creature card with CMC X or less and throw it into play, then shovel this back in your library. Banner of Kinship. Comes into play, choose a creature type. That's going to be a hard one for me. Enters with a fellowship counter for each creature you control of the chosen type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1 for each fellowship counter on this artifact. So it comes into play and you lock it in. The power and toughness, both benefit, boost, will not go up or down. It just, if I cast it and I've got 4 elves, if over the next turn I get up to 10, 12 elves, they still only get 4/4. Only 4/4. 10 elves, 4/4. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Dionysus. Elvish. This guy's fucking cool. Him and Tivar are best buddies. 300 green, 3/3 elf druid. Elves you control have, whenever this motherfucker becomes tapped during your turn, untap his ass and put a +1/+1 counter on him. Only once per turn. So, Burstlow Rangers. Actually, better yet, Priest of Titania. Tap her, get like 6 mana. She gets 6 +1/+1 counters because of Tivar. And then Dionysus untaps her and gives her another +1/+1 counter. Value. Prowess of the Fair. 1 of the black. So this is board wipe insurance. Somebody's going to wipe the board. Guaranteed. So if I had this in play, and let's say I've got 6 non-token elves, somebody wipes the board. Normally I'd have nothing. I'd have an empty board. But this says, actually you get 6 1/1 green Elf Warrior tokens. Is that good enough for you? Are you at least mollified by this turn of events? And I'll say yes. Thank you, Prowess of the Fair. Elvish Archdruid. Yeah, he makes mana. Imperious Perfect. She makes elves. Makes my elves bigger. She looks really cool. I like her. Elvish War Master. 1 in the green for a 2/2 Elf Warrior. Whenever one or more elves you control, whenever one or more other elves enters the battlefield under control, create a 1/1 green Elf Warrior creature token. Only once per turn. What's nice about him is he doesn't care how the elf showed up. So if I have Imperious Perfect out and I create an Elf Warrior token, he says, make another one too. Why not? I don't care. And then this 5 green 7 mana. My elves would get +2/+2 and Death Touch until end turn. I don't think I've triggered that yet, but the potential is there. Viridian Zealot, green, 2/1, 1 in a green. Sacrifice him and naturalize an artifact or enchantment. Forest. So the War Master makes Elf Warriors. She says your warriors come into play with additional +1/+1 counter on them. And each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has trample. So she's pretty damn good in this deck. Leaf Crown Visionary, yeah, green, 1/1. Other elves you control get buffed. Whenever you cast an elf spell, you may pay a 1 green tax and draw a card. Inspiring Call, 2 in a green. Draw a card for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. And they gain Indestructible until end of turn. Heroic Intervention. 1 in a green. You don't get to draw cards, but your permanents gain Hexproof and Indestructible until end of turn. Land of our elf. Land of our elfin. I really can't read German that well, so. Because that looks like Erhoi, Deinen Manövrat That? I wanted to switch to French. I forget what green is in German. Anyway. Alright. Realm Walker. So I'm cheating. Yes, I'm cheating. I get that. He's not an elf. Well, he is, but he's not. If you know what I mean. So 2 in a green for 2/3 Shapeshifter. Changeling. He's every creature type. So he's an elf. He's a squirrel. He's a lover, he's a mother, he's everything. Comes into play, choose a creature type. I can look at the top card in the library whenever I want to, and I can cast creature spells of the chosen type from the top of my library. So he's pretty cool here. Reclamation Sage, 2 in a green. If she comes into play, I can naturalize an artifact or enchantment. Vivian Reed, I've actually pulled off her ultimate. I did. And the genie kept warning the guys, he's going for the ultimate. And the guys just didn't really register. So 3 green. +1, look top for a card in your library. You can show everybody a creature or land from among them, put it in your hand. Excuse me. Rest go on the bottom in any order. Neg 3, Broken Wings. Destroy an artifact, enchantment, or creature flying. Neg 8, you get an emblem with creatures you control get +2/+2, Vigilance, Trample, and Indestructible. And I pull off the ultimate, and everybody's like, oh my god, your elves are big and lethal. And the genie's like, I fucking told you! I told you he was going to do it, and you didn't do anything! And he was trying to stop me. Fair enough, he was trying to stop me, but I was able to stave him off and block, and he couldn't get to Vivian. But he tried. Attrition. I've got kind of a combo with that. Let's talk about that later. Land, green, tap, untap target elf. Otherwise produces colorless. Dwinnen, Gilt Leaf Dane. 2 green, 3/4 elf warrior. She reaches. My other elves get bigger, and whenever she attacks, I gain 1 life for each attacking elf I control. Land, Tedger Preserver. Cube loves Eldrazi. I mean, loves him. He must watch a lot of tentacle hentai. I mean, I don't know. Something's going on with that kid. 1 in green for 2/1. Spells and abilities you control cannot cause you to sacrifice permanents. This is against Annihilator bullshit. Land. Wirewood Channeler, 3 in the green. Tap, add X mana of any 1 color to your mana pool, where that's the number of elves in play. 3 Tree City. Land, Well-Wisher. Gain life for each elf on the battlefield. Poison Tip Archer. 1 black, 1 green, 2/3 Reaching Elf Archer. He's got Death Touch. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and he doesn't care whose creature it was. So if they start killing each other's creatures, he's like, hey, I'm going to hurt you. Dictated Verbose. So I've got a lot of token generation here. Creatures are going to die. So 3 black, flash it into play, and it's basically Grave Pact. Whenever a creature I control croaks, each opponent sacks a creature. Land. See? Good Leaf Palace. Palisade Walls. Marwyn the Nurturer, 2 in a green for a 1/1 elf druid. Whenever another elf you control comes into play, she gets a +1/+1 encounter. You can tap her to get a green mana for each of her power. Pernicious Deed, 1 green, 1 black, 1 colorless. Enchantment. Sack it. Destroy each artifact and creature and enchantment with CMC XLS, so whatever you pay. It's great against tokens. You don't have to pay a damn thing. You just 0, sack it, and all the tokens die. If anything big, I mean, it's a board wipe that your opponents can force you to use at the time they choose. They're like, yeah, I'm going to naturalize your Pernicious Deed, and you say, oh, you're going to force me to use my Pernicious Deed, are you? Okay, very well. Get ready. How much mana? Oh, I've got 6 mana. This is not going to go well for you. Elvish Mystic, green. He adds green. He's a Llanowar elf with a different name. Innkeeper's Talent. I've not had this in play yet. I'm really curious to see how well it works. 1 in the green. Class enchantment. So at the beginning of combat your turn, put a +1/+1 encounter on target creature. So 1 creature gets a +1/+1 encounter at the beginning of each combat. Level 2, permanent control with counters on them have Ward 1. Oh, I like that. Level 3, spend 3 in the green to achieve level 3 if you're already at level 2. If you would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or a player, put twice that many of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent player instead. So, Vivian Reed. If I put a loyalty counter on her, I actually put 2. Doubling Season, because a Planeswalker ability is paying a cost. So Doubling Season, if you play a Planeswalker, it will come into play with double the counters. If you pay the cost, the loyalty cost, even if it adds, Doubling Season will not put more counters on it. This will, because the wording is different. Should I explain more? Should I explain why the wording is different? I'd have to look at Doubling Season. I don't think you have time for that, so we'll do it later. Thrilling Encore. 4 and a black, instantly. Return to play all creature cards and all graveyards that died this turn. That's all creatures, not just yours, at instant speed. So somebody watches the board, thinking they're in a good position, and you go whoosh, thrilling encore. All those dead things work for me now. Return them to play under my control. I'm not sure if I really want her in here. She's going in the baby pile. One in the green. What's her? One in the green. It's black. She's black. She's not green. She doesn't have a shred of green in her. One in the green for a 1/2 elf scout. Whenever she or another elf I control dies, I can pay 1 and 1 life. If I do, draw a card. So I have to have the mana available, and I have to pay life. And she kind of works as, yeah, there's the combo. There it is right there. So kind of the reason I was leaving in here is because I have attrition. So it's not as if she's just sitting around waiting for my creatures to die in combat or waiting for them to get wiped or something. If I have her in attrition, I can spend 1 black, sacrifice a creature, destroy a target non-black creature. So I spend 1 black and 1 colorless, sacrifice a non-black creature, sacrifice a creature, kill a non-black creature, and then pay a life and draw a card. So they kind of work together. That's why I kept her in here. Otherwise I would have taken her out. So let's leave her in here. Land, land, land. Essence Warden. Whenever another creature comes to play, gain 1 life. Sweet. She's gotten me a lot of life before. Land, land, land. Evolution Witness. I love this creature. Hang on. Let me get the light back. Come on, light. There we go. 2 in a green for a 2/1 Elf Shaman Mutant. 1 in a green, adapt 2. Whenever more plus and plus encounters are put onto Evolution Witness, return target permanent card from graveyard to your hand. So she only returns permanent cards, but because I have so many ways of putting tokens on my creatures, including her adaptability, I should be able to use her reliably. I don't think I've actually had her in play yet. Land. There he is. Beast Whisperer. She is. Tell me, do those proportions look right? Look how big this Ferox is. And look at this. There's a little creature right here. There's some like tiny little rat. And then this elf. And they're really not that far apart. I mean, there's only the tree separating them. So this looks like it should be a monster, right? It should be huge. Or maybe she's a giant. The picture is really strange. But I want a different art, so I got different art. 2 green, green, 2/3. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Stand by for part 2. We're now in part 2. Land, Deathrite Shaman. The bugaboo of Modern that got kicked out of the format. Green-black hybrid. 1/2. Yeah, exile land from graveyard. Get 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Black tap, exile instant or sorcery card from graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. Green tap, exile a creature from graveyard. You gain 2 life. So graveyard control. Azuri, Renegade Leader. 1 green green. 2/2. Elf Warrior. Green. Regenerate another target of. Excuse me. 2. Triple green. Elf creatures control get +3 and trample until end of turn. I've triggered that. I think in one game I've triggered it 3 times. So my elves gained 9/9 and trample. Here they come. Land, land. Guy's Cradle, basically. So 2 in a green comes into play. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can show a creature from among them, put it in your hand, rest in the bottom in any order. Beginning your turn, if you have 4 more creatures, flip it over and get Guy's Cradle. Tap, add green to your mana pool, or tap, add green to your mana pool for each creature you control. I could put Guy's Cradle in this deck, but I decided not to. Some of the lads are complaining about my bullshit lands. The 3 Cradles I have are already in decks. Sigarda doesn't really need it. This deck could actually use it a lot more. But when I was putting it together, I thought I would make a concession to the fact that I've been playing longer, and I do have these cards, and I can make more. Not really. My decks aren't really that hardcore anymore. I've got the 3 hardcore Austrasian decks, but my prog decks, like one guy said about a year ago, you're making $500 decks to play at a $50 level. And I said, yes, because I know the group. And I'm trying not to spark an arms. I'm trying to have a good time. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to play interesting thematic decks. But I'm not trying to crush the table and spark an arms race. Vanquishers need another drink of water. Alright, there we go. Vanquisher's Banner. 5 mana. Comes to play, choose a creature type. Creature control of the chosen type, get +1/+1. Whenever you cast a creature of the chosen type, draw a card. Neat. Even Nature's Herald. I don't have a learn in this deck. I could have put an learn in this deck. I could have taken it. I've got learn in 2 different decks, Voya and Edric. I probably should buy one. It's a reserve list, so it, in theory, should still go up in the future, but it might not. As players like me age out, new players come in and they want the new stuff and they don't really know about the old stuff. It's a possibility that the reserve list cards are just kind of plateau, just stay flat, just not grow, because the demand will die off as older players die off. And the new players really don't look to the past. So that's one possibility. So anyway, to have that effect, the learn effect. Learn is 2 and a green, 2 green, just like Give a Nature's Herald enchantment. Anybody can play creature CMC 3 or less for free as an instant. She's not quite that cool. She lets me play my green creature cards as though they had flash as instants, but I still have to pay for them. But with elves, so if I play my creatures on my turn during my first or second main phase, I get, 2 or 3, depending on if there's 3 or 2 other players in a given game. That's 2 or 3 other turns of people that can wipe the board, kill my creatures, and fuck with my plans. So if I've got her and just a couple elves and they don't look like a threat, at the end of my turn, at the end of the turn of the opponent preceding me, I can go and dump a bunch of elves, and they're going to go, that's a bunch of elves, and I'll say, yes, it is a bunch of elves, don't piss me off. Repopulate 1 in the green, shuffle all creature cards from target player's graveyard into that player's library. All of my decks, all of them. I always put in some kind of insurance against a graveyard removal spell or effect. Bojuka Bog, the most famous one. So if the board has been wiped and I've got like 10 creatures in my graveyard and I would really like them back, and somebody's going to Bojuka Bog me because they really don't want me to have them back, I can repopulate instantly and shuffle those cards back into my library to draw them again, to get them again. And if that doesn't happen, I can always cycle this way to draw another card. Forest, Glissa, Le Tritis, black, double green, 3/3, Initiative, Contact Mortel, first strike, death touch. And whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, I can artifact from a graveyard to my hand. But I really don't have that many artifacts, so she's not really going to do that this much. Mainly she's just a threat. First strike and death touch, yeah. Land, Elvish Champion. Other elves get +1/+1 and Forest Walk. She doesn't say yours. She doesn't say mine. So I have to be careful with her. Because if I play her and somebody has, say, a Maskwood Nexus and their creatures get all creature types, that means they're elves and they get +1/+1 and they have Forest Walk. And since I will probably have a couple forests in play at some point of the game, they can come at me. So yeah, I have to be careful with her. Otherwise, she gives my elves force walk and I can smash people. Coche Fantôme, something I started doing is putting in at least one way of getting rid of problematic land. Some, Cabal Coffers. An opposing 3-tree city. And here it's just Ghost Quarter. So sacrifice it, destroy target land, and its controller can go find a basic land, put it in play tapped. Yeah, I'm cheating with him too. 2 green 4/4/4 shapeshifter changeling, so he's an elf. He's got protection from black. 2 double green, he gets +X/+X in turn, where that's his power. And if you do it multiple times, he will double his power each time. So the first time you spend 4, 8, 8. The second time, spend another 4, 16, 16. You spend another 4, if you have it, 32, 32. Smash with protection from black. And there's the land. Okay, so let's wrap this up by deciding what is coming out. So this gives all my creatures hexproof and I can regenerate them. It's quite useful. She put a land from my hand into play. So if I'm drawing more lands, I can get them down. Instead of... I didn't put exploration, I didn't put burgeoning in this deck, I didn't put the normal things I would put in to put down more lands. So she kind of fills that slot. So, kind of comes down to taking out the Demonic Tutor. Which actually, in the spirit of the games that I play, the way I want to play, it's the best choice. I mean, Demonic Tutor, in some groups, it has kind of a bad rap. People take it personally when you play Demonic Tutor. It just indicates that you're going for some kind of consistency, you're going for some kind of combo piece, you're doing something more deliberate, if I can explain it that way. So we'll do that. We'll take out Demonic Tutor for Birchflow Rangers, and that is T-Var changed.